Welcome everyone to today's session on the law as part of the course Principles of Public Relations. I am Dewi Sribayu, your instructor for today, and together we will dive into the complexities of ethical decision making, the legal challenges we face, and the pursuit of professionalism that elevates our practice. Let's get started. Right, so PR's questionable ethical reputation. PR has long grappled with a reputation that's often seen as ethically ambiguous. Harold Wilson, the former British Prime Minister, famously dubbed PR as organized lying. It's a sentiment that lingers, with even some industry leaders expressing concern over the negative perceptions tied to PR excellence. So, why is this? So, in my experience, it's largely about misunderstanding the role of ethics in public relations. So, today we will challenge these perceptions by highlighting the integral role ethics plays in defining our profession of public relations. Now, what is ethics? Okay, ethics serve as our moral compass in public relations. It guides our actions and all of our decisions. It is a value system that transcends personal conscience and also reflects society and professional standards. So, across many different teams, across cultures and organizations, I've personally seen how ethics can vary greatly, shaping our approach to resolving conflicting values and establishing trust. So, ethics can be approached in two primary ways. So, first, we have the deontological approach, and we also have the teleological approach. So let's take a look at deontological first. So deontological ethics is a duty-based approach. It is rooted in the philosophy of Immanuel Kant, which emphasizes universal moral principles. It is about doing what's right regardless of the consequences that it brings. So, in practice, this approach reminds us to uphold ethical standards even under pressure. On the other hand, we have the teleological ethics. So, teleological ethics, it is this outcome focused approach is embraced usually by utilitarians like Bentham and Mill, and it evaluates actions based on their results. The goal here with teleological ethics is to achieve the greatest good for the greatest number of people. So, in public relations, it is about balancing short term wins with the long term impacts. So, why ethical dilemmas are especially common in public relations? So, in public relations, it is filled with ethical dilemmas due to our involvement in controversial issues. So, from previous experience working with diverse stakeholders, we've seen how PR practitioners must navigate the conflicting interests of employees, customers, and even communities while remaining true to organizational values. So it is a delicate balance which requires strategic foresight and ethical resilience. So in PR, we serve multiple masters. So we have to consider the ethical imperatives of employers and clients, where we aim to achieve business goals without compromising ethical standards. Next, we also have to take a look at organizational publics, where we address all these varied stakeholder needs and expectations. We also have professional bodies. So in Malaysia, we have the Institute of Public Relations Malaysia, also known as IPRM. So here in Malaysia, we have to adhere to these ethical codes from organizations like IPRM. And Finally, we have ourselves as individuals, and these are actually our personal values. So ultimately, our integrity is our guiding light. Okay, whenever we are faced with a dilemma, we have to turn back to our personal values. So we found that staying true to your values can foster trust and credibility. So, why does ethics even matter to public relations? So, first and foremost, we have to acknowledge that good ethics is synonymous with good business. So, while we all strive for a world where moral values are upheld, in practical terms, ethical practices translate directly into business benefits. So, public relations is uniquely positioned to bridge the ethical behavior with corporate objectives, where we try our level best to enhance both the reputation and the performance. Right. So public relations serves as a vital link between ethical business behavior as well as the achievement of corporate objectives. So ethical practices in PR ensures a transparent communication. We have to foster trust and we have to build stronger relationships with stakeholders. So this alignment of ethics and business goals helps organizations navigate challenges and capitalize on opportunities. So companies known for their ethical standards and social responsibility, often enjoy public relations outcomes that are better than their less ethical competitors. So why is that even important? That's important because positive public perception leads to enhanced brand loyalty, increased stakeholder engagement, and ultimately a stronger bottom line. While unethical companies might experience short term success, they often face long term penalties in the form of damaged reputations and strained relationships. Poor public relations stemming from unethical practices can lead to the loss of trust, negative media attention, and even a decreased market share. Next, let's take a look at defamation. So, when we talk about the law, usually the most common one is defamation. And defamation occurs when an opinion, information, or fact is expressed that damages someone's reputation. So, there are two main types of defamation. So, we have libel as well as slander. So, when we talk about libel, this type of defamation occurs through written or printed words or any form of publication in a physical form. Meanwhile, we have slander. So, slander is defamation that happens through spoken words, gestures, and other transitory means. So, for a statement to be considered libelous, certain criteria must be met. So, we have things like um, falsehood, where the statement has to be false and defamatory towards an identifiable individual or groups. And it has to have identification. The injured party must be clearly identifiable. It also has to be communicated to a third party in terms of publication. And it also has the most important point is that it has to have malice or negligence. So, especially for public figures, there must be a demonstration of malice or negligence in how the information was handled. As PR practitioners, it's crucial for us to navigate communication with care and especially to ensure the accuracy and integrity in all representations to protect reputations and uphold ethical standards. Now we also have trademarks. So what are trademarks? Trademarks are vital for brand protection. So PR professionals, we play a critical role in safeguarding these assets. So through proactive monitoring and education, we ensure trademarks are correctly used, preventing unauthorized exploitation. reputation. Okay, so some trademark examples are product names such as Kleenex, brand names such as Chevrolet, Xerox, and even Colgate. It can also be graphic renderings of those names in a specific typeface, font, or even artwork. So in this example, you can see for sport shoes, these are things that would um, differentiate your brand from others. Like sport shoes, we have Nike, Adidas, and Puma. They all have their own specific logo and font that if you were to recreate it in a different manner, we it would still be easily identifiable. So for jeans, we have Levi's, Wrangler, Diesel. For watches, we have Rolex, Swatch, even Seiko. And for online shopping, we have Amazon, eBay, and even Alibaba.com. All of these are trademarked. So if we were to use a similar type font or a similar type of artwork that is identifiable back to them, we can be liable for a court case in terms of for using a trademarked artwork and font type, so to say. So now let's explore some common ethical issues and individual best practices for maintaining professionalism. So example of ethical issues in PR, we have lying for a client, where you misrepresent the truth to protect or promote a client. We also have exaggerated claims, where we overstate facts or benefits to persuade or influence an audience. There's also using deception, where we gather information under false pretenses or through unethical means. It can also be things like offering expensive gifts or other benefits to journalists, politicians, and more. It can also be a conflict of interest. It can also be insider trading, and it can be accepting benefits or even commissions from suppliers or anyone to whom you refer business with, right? So, as PR practitioners, we have to maintain a high regard for ethics in our individual practice. So, how are we able to do that? We can do that by being honest at all times, always be truthful and transparent in communications. Okay, we have to base our standards and convey a sense of business ethics, where we uphold the ethical standards in all of our professional dealings. We also have to respect our opponents and audiences, treat both of them with dignity and consideration. We have to develop trust, where you build and maintain trust through consistent ethical behavior. We have to also strive for a balance between loyalty and duty. Okay, present all sides of an issue fairly and objectively, right? And we shouldn't sacrifice long-term objectives for short-term gains. So if we adhere to all these principles, PR professionals can navigate complex ethical landscapes, building credibility and fostering trust among stakeholders. Now, professional codes of ethics. So it's important to understand that while disciplinary action can be taken against members who violate these codes, there's a significant aspect to consider, where no formal license is required to practice public relations. This means that individuals who are not members of professional institutes can still identify as PR practitioners. This scenario is consistent across the globe. So, one key challenge in enforcing these ethics codes is the constraints imposed by defamation laws. So, these laws can create hurdles when attempting to address breaches of ethical standards. So, given this context, it is clear that while enforcement is an option, it is often not the most effective approach. So, in this environment, education and encouragement can prove to be far more effective strategies. So, by focusing on teaching ethical practices and fostering a culture of integrity, we can better support and guide PR practitioners in upholding these important standards. So, while disciplinary actions are available, promoting ethics through education and positive reinforcement is generally more impactful in the field of public relations. So, professionalism here, this is a cornerstone of effective public relations practice. So, as a PR practitioner, there are several key attributes and actions that define true professionalism for us. So, first, a practitioner should cultivate a strong sense of independence. This means being able to make objective decisions and judgments without undue influence from outside forces. So, independence ensures that our work remains credible and unbiased. So that's very important to be unbiased. Secondly, there is a crucial responsibility to society and the public interest. So this involves prioritizing the well-being of the community and being mindful of the broader impact of your work, because you have to remember that your role is not just about advancing individual or corporate interests, but it's also about serving the public good or the greater good. Third, you should always be concerned with the honor of the profession as a whole. So this means that you have to uphold and promote the integrity and reputation of the field of public relations. So your actions should contribute positively to how the profession is perceived by others. So additionally, professionalism demands a higher loyalty to the standards of the profession and to other fellow professionals. So, this means adhering to ethical guidelines, supporting your colleagues, and striving to maintain high standards across the board. So, moving beyond these core attributes, there are several practical steps to enhance professionalism. So, we can educate ourselves. Continuous learning is vital. Stay informed about industry trends, tools, and best practices to ensure that your skills and knowledge remain current. We should always engage in research in order to understand emerging issues and the developments within the field. So, this would help in making informed decisions and providing valuable insights. We have to also recognize senior professionals where you acknowledge and learn from those who have extensive experience in the field. So their expertise and guidance can provide valuable lessons and inspiration. And finally, we have professional development where you can actively seek opportunities for growth through workshops, seminars, and even certifications. So in Malaysia, you can do that through IPRM. So professional development helps you stay competitive and adapt in your practice. So in summary, professionalism in PR is about maintaining independence, about being responsible, honor, and loyalty while actively pursuing education, research, recognition, and development to continually enhance your practice. So, before we end our class for today, let's have a little bit of a short class activity for us to assess your understanding on the topic thus far. So, share your responses to each question based on the scenario. Use real world examples or reasoning to support your answers. So you can head on to the QR code link to participate in the short activity. Right, so that's all for our class today. To summarize, professionalism in public relations is deeply intertwined with a thorough understanding of legal frameworks. As practitioners, it is essential for us to navigate the landscape with a strong sense of independence, with a feeling of responsibility to society, honor for our profession, and loyalty to ethical standards. Equally important is a comprehensive grasp of relevant laws and regulations, as these govern many aspects of PR practice from defamation to privacy issues. So, being well versed in the legalities not only helps in making informed decisions, but also ensures that your practices are compliant and protect both your clients and the public interest. It enhances your credibility and effectiveness while allowing you to address legal challenges proactively and uphold the profession's integrity. So that's all for our class today. Thank you for your attention and commitment to these critical aspects of professionalism. Until next time, see you everyone.